thinking that I wasn't strong enough, I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't good enough, I wasn't talented enough, I wasn't skinny enough, I wasn't pretty enough. I mean, where do you want me to end, right?
Amazing. Amazing. I love what you said about having a code of conduct for yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's really amazing and quite honourable, because a lot of women don't really understand the concept of boundaries, and that's, boundaries within themselves, but also boundaries in terms of other people as well. And sometimes when we ask this question of women as, what are your personal boundaries, a lot of them will respond with, what are you talking about? And so, it really does then show what they allow into their lives, but also how they allow themselves off the hook and therefore end up in a place where they thought, well, I never chose to end up here. Yeah. But the truth is, you didn't choose to end up somewhere else.
Yes.
You just kind of went with the flow.
Yeah.
And so it's really, really awesome to hear you talk about having this code of conduct for yourself and for the way that you run your life. And I think that's something that a lot of the listeners, really should. I think that's a really key point, something that they can take away to say, if there's one thing that you can go away and do after listening to this interview, it's sit down and have a look at what are you allowing and tolerating in your life that is pushing you away from what it is that you say you truly want.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Absolutely. Very, very important to set boundaries and really be very honest with yourself in terms of your behavior and your previous choices. Because as I said, I really had to take a harsh look. I didn't like everything that I saw. Didn't make me feel great about myself to see some of the things and behaviors and ways of being that I had previously just let, mesh into part of who I was. And that was my opportunity to stand up and say, no, I do like these components and they work very well for me. However, here's, 10, 12 things or whatever that are, no, they're not working for me. They're actually working against me, and I'm not going to tolerate them anymore. That's as simple as that. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So what is the one major thing that has held you back in the past? Self-belief, 100%. Thinking that I wasn't strong enough, I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't good enough, I wasn't talented enough, I wasn't skinny enough, I wasn't pretty enough. I mean, where do you want me to end, right? It goes on and on and on. The voice in our head that says, oh, that dream life, that thing that you want, no, that's for other women, that's not for you. You need to sit over here very quietly and don't speak out. Oh, don't go for what you want. No, that's not for you. That's for other women, the women that you admire, but that's not for you. You should stay down here very quiet. Just squash yourself down here a little more and feel really, really crappy about yourself so that you don't even try and do anything, that could actually make you happy long term. God forbid, right? And no, it's the thing that has held me back. Let's say, it's like I want to shout it, has been myself. The thing that held me back has been myself. And it was a very revelational moment when I really actually realized that. And I thought it's really quite sad. But also, again, empowering, because that means if I was the one that was doing it, then the choice is completely mine to switch that out. And I just decided I would no longer, again, like as part of the code of conduct, I would no longer not do things that frightened or scared me. Just because I was, maybe scared that I would be embarrassed or not look good in front of other people. Who cares? I did something just ridiculous the other day on a Facebook Live. I sang and danced. Am I a singer? No. Am I a dancer? No, certainly not. But it was a very empowering thing for me because it was my way of saying to myself, okay, just because I'm not a singer doesn't mean that I shouldn't sing. It also does not mean that I should repeat it time and time again. I don't want to deafen people. But it was a way to say, listen, I'm doing something that makes me feel really, really good, and you should too. This is not about putting ourselves into a little box and making sure that we look acceptable at all times to people. If something brings you great joy and you're not harming anybody, it's all right. It's all right. So yeah, the number one thing that held me back, and I'm sure holds many, many of us back, It's not an external situation or circumstance. It's what you tell yourself about the external situation or circumstance. It's always you. It's always you.